Hey, Pete Scartabello here. Just wanted to make this little video to thank everyone for getting me to 3,000 subscribers. I feel honored and humbled that you've let me into your busy lives and want to accompany me on this musical journey. I thought I would take this time to properly introduce myself and tell you a little bit about my background and how I got to this point. I started taking drum lessons when I was 10, and my parents got me a guitar when I was probably like 13 or something. And I got into metal and got into writing some riffs and stuff. And at that point, I hijacked my brother's Tascam 4-track and started making songs. Hopefully he's not watching this. So when I was about 15, I had a friend who also played drums, so we wanted to start a band. And so what I did was I took up bass guitar, and because we had a guitarist friend, so we started a band and we did like Metallica and Merciful Fate covers and, metal kind of stuff. And also we did some of my originals, which really got me into writing songs at that point because I really enjoyed that. So fast forward to the end of high school. This is kind of funny, but the way I got into classical was sort of through Frank Zappa and Yngwie Malmsteen, who was a like neoclassical metal guitarist. It's funny. So I got into Bach and like Stravinsky through those guys, and then that kind of snowballed, and I got into Bartok and. But an interesting thing happened when I was listening to the radio. There was a world premiere because I started listening to classical radio, and on WGBH, which is the Boston classical channel at the time, I heard a world premiere of a Polish composer named Andrzej Panufnik, and it sort of changed everything. I mean, at that point, I was like, I need to write music because just the impression that it made on me was pretty amazing. So I would say at that point is where I shifted from playing drums and doing metal, which I still do and I still love, but that's really the point where I got into like I want to write music. At the same time, I really got into film, especially the foreign films of like Fellini, Truffaut, and Tarkovsky, and particularly the Artemiev score for Tarkovsky's Stalker. I think that made a huge impression on me. Just the way the film worked with the sound, just the way those two came together, and a lot of his score was actually kind of blurred the lines between sound design and composition, which I really loved because I've always been in love with just sound in general. And also I was into horror, so the score for Hellraiser by Christopher Young really made an impact on me. Just the orchestration in that is really, and plus it was kind of in line with a lot of the Stravinsky stuff I was listening to, and it was a little more experimental, but also had a really interesting. It's an interesting score because a lot of like waltz, kind of like dark waltzes, and interesting orchestration. So I think in the back of my mind, that was always my love for film and music kind of was always there, that connection between the sound and the image. So after high school, I went to the State University of New York in Purchase, New York, and I did a double major of classical composition and studio composition, which was like music production. So I think there I wasn't thinking so much about film music. I was just trying to hone my craft, and I was really into just composing and working with the orchestra there and the various ensembles. And I was also playing a lot of drums there. So I really just spent hours and hours like honing my craft there and didn't really think about film music as much as just like pure, chamber and orchestral music, orchestration and theory and counterpoint, things like that. So after college, I had that now what kind of feeling that every college grad gets, I think. Like, you go to school for music and then you get out and then what are you going to do? And especially like, you can't make a living writing a piece for 20 contrabass clarinets or something. So this is when I decided to teach privately, teach piano, because I played quite a bit of piano in college and got better at that as a composing tool. So I was going to teach piano, drums, and music composition theory and all that privately. So that was the idea. And also I wanted to pursue film music because I saw that as a more lucrative way to be a composer, really, and reach a lot of people, which is the appeal, I think, of that. There's more to the story, but I don't want to rattle on for like 5 hours. I would say I got really serious about film music in 2010 when I scored the Russian documentary Russian Lessons by Andrei Nekrasov. Since then, I've done a dozen or so movies, including the Bunnyman horror trilogy by the LA director Carl Lindbergh, and the award-winning Indian documentary Gulabi Gang by Nishta Jain. And most recently, I did the drama/comedy For Here to Go by San Francisco director Rucha Humnabadkar. Which brings us to this channel. I really wanted to combine my experience of film music and teaching in this sort of, for this medium, because I love both. I love teaching and I love sharing the stuff that I've learned over the years with everyone. And and I just love film music too. So I thought I'd do the channel, and I'm trying to be more vigilant with uploading videos weekly. So I see a lot of YouTube videos about theory, music theory, and do you need music theory to write film music? No, you don't. But I find that, does it help you get out of a musical jam sometimes? Yeah, it totally does. So I think it's important, and I think it's also naive to discount the hundreds of years of music that came before us. So why wouldn't you want to analyze that and know what they did before us? I think it's important. I mean, it's probably more important to have really good ears, but it doesn't hurt to most of what I learned in my life is not through the classroom, but to getting a score that I like and analyzing it. You hear something in music that just blows your head off, and you're like, you want to see, like, how did they do that? And I think that's what music theory really should be. I mean, obviously the music comes before the theory, but I think if you're really interested in the craft and you just want to learn, like, how did that composer do that effect? Like, how did they achieve that? The orchestration of the counterpoint. I think that's where music theory, why it's important. And that brings me to counterpoint too. I'm going to probably be doing a video about counterpoint because I think that's really important. And I hear a lot of bad counterpoint in some film music. I mean, that's a subjective thing, but I think a lot of things could be more effective with stronger counterpoint. A lot of ideas would come across better. So, anyway, that's my 2 cents. I really just wanted to say thank you to all my channel subscribers and Patreon supporters. I hope I'll be able to continue doing more videos on the channel. Obviously, if I get a lot of film work, I'm not going to be able to do it as much, but I'm trying to take like Saturday or Sunday where I focus on the YouTube channel. So hopefully I'll be able to continue to do that. But please let me know what you'd like me to cover on the channel. I'd love to hear from you guys. And so in the comments below, if everyone could just write like what they really want to see me cover, and I'd be happy to go through that and do that for you guys. Okay, thanks a lot for watching. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye.